Hey, what's up, guys? Master One is back with dedication of making another ASMR video. So today I'm gonna talk about my vacation in Maui. Before I start, I have to show you what am I gonna drink and what am I gonna eat. And today I'm drinking some Moscato. This is Stella Rosa Moscato. It smells amazing. And to eat, I'm not gonna eat anything heavy tonight. It's pretty late and I'm not that hungry anyway. So I'm just gonna have a different kind of, nuts. So I decided to go to Hawaii, Maui, the island Maui specifically, because last time I went to Hawaii through the cruise, I was not able to get onto the Maui island because they had a strong wind that day and the ship cannot dock onto the island. So unfortunately, everybody's been telling me that's one of the prettiest islands in Hawaii. So it's like one of my bucket lists. I have to go there. So this time I used the opportunity to go there. Even though Hawaii is a part of US, but it has a very strict COVID screening policy. Unlike the rest of the states, you fly over there, nobody gives a shit. But to get into the island of Hawaii, at that time, you have to show a negative COVID test within 72 hours of the arrival time. And then, depends on whether you have vaccination or not. You either, on the day that you landed in Hawaii, you either show them the proof, the certificate of the vaccine card, and then, or if you never took the vaccine, you have to get another COVID test after you arrived at Hawaii, and wait for the result to show negative. Then you can go wherever the fuck you want. Otherwise, you have to get in quarantine until the test result came out. Well, I got the shot, so I don't have to go through as tedious as other people has to, But right after, we get off the plane, we have to line up and, waiting to, get screened for the COVID result. And the line was super long. It took us almost an hour, 30 minutes to get through. Right after we get off the airport, we went to the food truck nearby the airport. It's called Gasty's Shrimp. It's in a location almost like a parking lot, like a remodeled parking lot. There's several food truck lining right next to each other, and Gasty's Shrimp is one of them. That was the best shrimp I've ever had. And when I eat, I love to have multiple stuff. I don't like to just stick to one thing. When I eat, I like to have multiple varieties. So that's why I ordered food from other trucks as well. But compared to Gasty's Shrimp, they don't shine at all. The flavor, the spiciness with the pineapple juice. That sauce is just amazing. It explodes your taste bud. Let's see, after we eat the food truck, we went to check in at the hotel. We checked in, give them the information, and I guess there's not a lot of visitors at the time, so they decided to upgrade my room to like a bigger one, like to a suite, which is pretty nice. I think before I ordered just like a one bedroom, like a regular one bedroom with a big window. But now it has like a living room and a kitchen, just like an apartment, like a one bedroom apartment. So that's definitely 2 thumbs up. I appreciate them doing that. Because we arrived in the afternoon. That's pretty much for that day. Second day, we went to a surfing lesson in the morning. I signed it up for both me and my wife. She wanted to learn surfing for a long time. So, might as well use this opportunity to do it. We both have no experience with surfing. It was like a group lesson. It's me and my wife with like 2 other couples, I think. So only like 6 person in total. And the instructor is pretty, good at taking care of everybody in the group and making sure everybody has the skill down. So we kind of like did the drill for like a couple times on the beach. Then we just like carried the board to getting to the sea, like learning how to surf. It's harder than what it looks like. I think a lot of things has to do with how good you're able to balance, and also your body proportion. What do I mean by body proportion? Well, for people who has a short arm like me, you're gonna have a hard time standing up. So when you surf, you lie on the board flat first, okay? And you catch the wave behind you, and the board is moving along with the wave. So you're gaining speed, right? With that speed, you're supposed to slowly change from a flat lying position to a crouching down position, like crouching down with one knee bended down, the other one crouching up, and use 2 hands to kind of like stabilize yourself by putting your hand on the board, like you're changing from lying position to like a crouching position with 2 hands touching the surface of the board. And then you stand up like a sideways. Well, if your arm is not long enough, when you're crouching, I can barely touching the board, so you can't really stabilize yourself. You're moving like left and right. That is hard for me. Other people, I pay attention to all other people standing up. They have nice, slender, long arms that's perfectly able to stabilize themselves when they're trying I was having like a little bit hard time, but we did like how many waves? Probably I say like almost like 15 times each for each of us, and I succeeded most of them, to be honest. So I was doing not bad. It's just that stabilization part is a little bit like trouble. Oh, the other thing is when you're reaching the end, right? When you're reaching the end of the serve, like your board is slowing down, it's not really moving. You're supposed to get off, right? You're supposed to fall off safely. Well, the problem is there are rocks right beneath the water. Well, the water of the sea, and you know when you fall down in like in a part that's kind of shallow, you know, right along the beach. The water is not that deep, you know, it's kind of shallow. You get off at that time, and when you get off, you're most likely gonna step right onto one of those sharp stones, and it fucking hurts. It fucking hurts your feet. Like, I think I broke my skiing, and my wife probably broke her leg because she fell, but she didn't land on her foot. She kind of landed on her knee, so she kind of broken the skin of her leg or something like that. That's my only complaint, but everything else, phenomenal experience. You know, we stayed in the water most of the time, and I was still surprised that, you know, a couple days later, the skin behind my calf started to peel off. Well, because I didn't apply sunscreens on there, I thought, you know, I'm gonna be inside the water. Why would I need like sunscreens on my leg, right? But you know, the 1 hour we like practice drills on the beach, that caused damage to the skin of my calf. That 1 hour, I didn't even feel the sun was that bad. Like compared to Texas, it was so much better. It was not hot. But second day at Maui, fully packed. So we went to the surfing lesson in the morning. Then we go back to the hotel, get changed, heading out to the other planned destination. Went to a really famous pie place on the island. It's called Leota's Pie. The line of people waiting is already outside the restaurant. So you know it's good. I ordered like 6 or 7 pies. Eat them every single day. Amazing pie, definitely recommend you. After that, we continue driving south. Went to one of the famous shaved ice place. It's called Ululani's shaved ice. It has several different locations on the island. There is one that's pretty close to our hotel, but it's like almost at the center of the town. It's so crowded, you can't find like a parking place. I was like, you know what, just go to the far away one, you know. So we drove like 30 minutes to those like a really distant location that's away from still fucking packed. The line just goes like. I was like, what the fuck? Is it things really that good? So, at least there's parking. So, we have to try. It's already here. Driving fucking 20-30 minutes. So, waiting in line for like another 30-40 minutes. And finally hide it. It looks pretty regular to me. It's regular shaved ice. I think we had the you can choose like up to 3 different flavors. We got coconut, I think maybe pina colada or mango or something, or strawberry, I don't remember, but so it's basically just shaved ice with some flavored syrup, maybe some coconut flakes and condensed milk on top of it. Okay. It tastes alright for the first couple bites. It's sweet. What can go wrong when this shit is sweet? But the problem is they don't penetrate those flavor, those syrup, those condensed milk. It doesn't penetrate deep into the shaved ice. After you eat what's on the top, the inside has no flavor at all. When I was waiting to order, I see people constantly going back to the window, asking like more like syrup to put on top of it, because I guess they ran out of flavor. It doesn't have flavor once you get over the top of the thing. So I say for that experience, I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth the drive. It's not worth the wait. It's not worth the effort you have to, fight for parking space just for that. I felt like any shaved ice would taste pretty much the same. That's the afternoon. The evening, we went to one of the dinner experience paired up with shows. So that the one we signed up with is called Feast with Lily. So you go to the back of the restaurant, which is on the beach. The restaurant is right beside the beach. So they have like a lot of tables and chairs set it up for the customers. It's already all planned out. You went to the seat, you sit down, and they have a stage in front of you. So there are people doing dances, singing, like traditional Hawaii culture kind of dance. I think with Feast of Lily, the show actually consists of different cultures. Not only like Hawaiian cultures, some has like Samoa cultures, like I don't know how to describe, like a lot of like minority cultures along the Hawaii region, or surrounded by Hawaii in that, like Polynesian cultures and stuff like that. So it has like the food we eat is like course by course. I think like totally 6 or 7 course. Each course represents one different culture, and then you have the people doing the dance or singing reflect to that culture. So it's like you're eating that culture's food. You see the people performing in front of you of that culture's dance and singing. So it's pretty cool. However, the food like, oh shit, this is good. I must have this. Like, again, no, nothing really stands out, just regular. There's one thing that stands out though, which is unlimited alcohol drinks. That's for day 2. It's pretty packed. For day 3, we spent the whole day doing road to Hana. And Hana is the name of the town at the east side of the island. So you're supposed to start from almost at the center of the north edge of the island. I think it starts kind of like close to the Pia town and just goes along the coast all the way reach to Hana. Most people, when they reach Hana like that, most people drive right back. Because if you continue going to the south, if you're trying to do like a whole circle, all the road on the south part of the island are unpaved. They're in very bad condition. So whenever you read the guide online, most of them don't recommend you to do it. But you know, I read one guide and it says, oh, it's the bottom part is actually the most pretty view of the whole island. So that person strongly recommend people to check it out. And me personally, I hate to go back to the road where I came from. I just hate that personally. So I decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna try it out. Since we rented like a Jeep Wrangler, you know, that's supposed to be able to handle tough condition, you know, tough road condition, right? So we want to try. What a wonderful decision we made. There's absolutely no regret. I mean, first of all, the road after the town of Hana is not that bad. I mean, it's not good, it's narrow, it's unpaved. Sometimes you have to, you know, you have traffic going from both directions. You have to let, like, you have to like scoot over and let one car pass first. Then you go, you know, go through. Yeah, it's not good. It's bumpy. It has a lot of rock and dirt, but it's nothing like undoable. For us, we're just following a wave of vehicles that's also decided to go through the south part of the road. So we're definitely not the only one doing it, and that makes the whole thing so much easier because you have somebody driving in front of you. They cleared out like all the obstacles for you already. Like you can see, you just follow their paths. Whatever, there's something that you're not supposed to go, they dodge it for you already. So you're just following them, and that makes things so much easier. I'm not a good driver, I admit that, but by following somebody that's leading ahead of me, it was a piece of cake. And since those roads, not a lot of people drive through them, so they're like untouched by, like, you know, civilization. It's preserved in its best form. It's very pretty. It's not really like anything that I've seen before. That's the whole thing. But definitely worth it. That's what day 3. Day 4, we went to one of the national parks. It's called Halikala Mountain. By the way, Halikala means home of the sun. So based on the folk tales, a long time ago, the god Maui. So Maui Island, the name Maui is actually the name of one of the gods in Hawaiian culture. The god Maui kidnapped the sun because they want more sunlight in the day. So they hide the sun or lock the sun into the top of the mountain. So that's what it calls Halikala Mountain, the home of the sun. So we just drove right to the top from the bottom, and the view is pretty cool. We arrived on the top around like 12:30, 1-ish. Well, the sunset doesn't happen until 6 p.m. So we ran out of things to do on there, and it's pretty cold. So we were trying to do hiking for I was planning to do hiking in the meanwhile while waiting for the suns to go down, but I guess my wife didn't bring the proper hiking shoes, so she doesn't feel comfortable walking in her tennis shoe. So we did like 30 minutes of hiking. We had to come back. And then she waited in the car, and I decided to explore the area a little bit by myself, right? So, but that didn't take long either. It takes about 40 minutes. Then I'm back. Now it's only 3 o'clock. So we had nothing to do, and she doesn't want to do it anymore. She want to go back and maybe find a restaurant to eat or whatever. She doesn't want to wait until the sun to go down anymore. Well, I guess because she have seen sunset before, so it's no big deal, I guess. I never seen it before, bitch. And I drove all the way in here. I planned this, thing for today because I want to see the fucking sunset, so I don't want to go, I didn't get what I came here for, so I was like, nah, I don't want to go. And she wasn't happy. She was just stay at the back of the sea and trying to go to sleep. And of course, see, here's the problem. You can't go to sleep because if you roll down the window, it's cold. If you roll it up, it's hot because the sunlight shines directly into the car. So it's kind of like an awkward situation. And you don't want to leave the, engine running for 3 hours because then we're gonna run out of gas. So she wasn't happy. But once the sunset starts, it's too pretty to be agony over trivial stuff. and we just observed the sounds to go down little by little. There are tons of people on that area, tons of people. Well, we're lucky that we started 3 hours earlier, because by the last hour it's hard to find a parking lot. It's so packed. When the sun, because on the top of the mountain you have all the clouds below you, and when the sun goes down it shines right on the cloud, turning him into like a golden color. The view is so pretty, it's so remarkable, like, and also makes you feel like you're so small in front of the sun, in front of the cloud, the sea cloud, the cloud of the sea that's right in front of you. It makes everything else look so tiny. You feel like everything else that you worry about, you're angry about, it seems so trivial compared to all of that. And the scene changes as the sun drops lower and lower, and when they drop below the cloud, it can flip the scene, you know. When you have the sun above the cloud shining on top of everything, everything is golden, okay? It looks like heaven. Well, that's what came to my mind. It's like, oh, that must be what heaven looks like. Like, it looks so pretty. But when the sun's below the cloud, it suddenly gets dark. But not dark enough that you can't see anything. You can still see the lights shining, you know, below the cloud, and make it look like a bizarre. The shape is kind of bizarre. So, two completely different views in like probably 10 minutes. And you know, as soon as the sun goes down, I told my we gotta get the fuck out of here, because, you know, can you imagine all that fucking packed people, all the people fucking packed on top of the mountain trying to get away at the same time. Yeah, we made the fucking right decision, because, you know, as soon as we drove off, we can see like people are like, the cars are getting like condemned behind us. As you get going down the mountain, your car basically moving through the cloud. You can see the cloud in front of you, on the side of you. It looks very nice. Yeah. That's the first day. Day 5 is the day we left Maui, but our flight is in the evening, so we have pretty much the whole day to spend. So we went to the Pia town. Pia is also called, I think it's called the surfing town. It has a lot of small shops right next to each other, and we just went through one by one, and bought some souvenirs. Then we had lunch at one of the best restaurants on the island. It's called Mama's Fish House. If you ever go into Maui, you have to try that restaurant. I couldn't reserve for dinner for any of the previous day. That's why I have to reserve for lunch on the last last day. But it's so worth it. Everything about that restaurant is great. The service, the environment, the view, the food, of course. Some of the best seafood I've ever had. Well, that's not a surprise. Like Maui specializing, Hawaii, specializing in seafood. But still, wow, that flavor of the seafood they made. Oh my gosh. And the restaurant has like a private little beach on the back of the restaurant. It very pretty. That's all I can say. My only regret is I ate breakfast on that day. I should have saved more stomach for Mama's Fish House. My impression from Maui is very good, but there's something I have to point out that went below my expectation is the food. Despite that I had an amazing experience on the first day, right after we get off the plane, get the shrimp, and the last day we had the lunch at Mama's Fish House. Those are two phenomenal experiences. Everything else, however, is really below average because of this geographic location and the specific laws and policy. It kind of like excluded outsider to establish business in here for to compete. So no competition. You don't have to increase their food quality because this is what you're gonna get. You can't get anything else. So you're gonna have to buy it. That's why majority of the food that I bought in the whole trip on Maui is both overpriced, way overpriced, and doesn't even taste good, to be honest. So I was really disappointed about that. And I read an article about it and I realized that's their attitude basically. It's like, well, nobody else compete with me, so you don't want it, buy. I'll have the next customer. I have tons of people lining up anyway. That's what happened when you have a monopoly business with no competition. That's what happened. So in the end, it's the customer who's getting hurt because they're not getting quality service. But overall, our impression to Hawaii is very positive. So positive that we are actually considering moving to Hawaii. However, after a little bit of research, I realized it's almost impossible to move to Hawaii. Well, the first thing is the house price. Well, compared to Sui home taxes, I see that the housing price in Hawaii is like at least 3 times more expensive to buy anything that looks like a house. And we're not even talking about what year it's built. Could be like 20 years, 30 years, but as long as looking like a house, not like a condo or apartment. At least 1 million to start. Housing price in Hawaii is probably worse than New York or California because because it's a small island. There's only so much land, and it's getting fewer lands every day because investing in real estate in Hawaii, that's a fantastic option because the housing price never goes down. It only goes up. So if you have a career as a real estate in Hawaii, I guess it's pretty good for you. Everything else, you're expected like a 20% pay cut. I guess there's just not that many opportunities. Well, that's not only the worst part. You taking 20% pay cut, but at the same time, the living cost doubles almost. Everything else is expensive. Education, horrible. But public school in Hawaii, horrible. You want to raise your kids in there, you better have money to go to private school. So, based on all those factors, unless you have like a lot of money saved up, you probably don't want to move to Hawaii. Also, the article says most people have some kind of like a island fever for the first couple 2 years, I guess, when they relocate to Hawaii, because they're not used to the actual environment. They're confined into this little island with doesn't have a lot of things to do. I mean, unless you're really a nature person, you're really doing outdoor activities, like you're really passionate about surfing, then that's probably good for you. But most other people, they have to deal with their item getting rusted all the time. Their roof, their house, kind of like anything you put outside the car, the bicycle, it deteriorates much faster compared to the mainland. So overall, I think it's just it would be the best to just treat it like a vacation place. Well, I don't know how long this video is gonna be. I felt like I talked for like whole hours already. It's absolutely stupid. I'll probably have to cut off a lot of the contents. But anyway, I'll make another video about my Yellowstone Grand Teton trip. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.